Solomon didn't ask for riches, he asked for wisdom, and because of that, he received both. Thousands of years ago, a young king made a request that would change the course of his life and leave an eternal lesson for all who seek to prosper. Solomon could have asked for wealth, fame, power, or long life, but he asked for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom before gold, God gave him both, the wisdom to conquer and the balance to sustain it. Today, centuries later, this story remains one of the most powerful metaphors about prosperity and financial intelligence, especially for those who have already passed 40 and begin to realize that time teaches what money alone never could. The wisdom of Solomon is the antidote to the financial despair of modern life, because it reminds us that wealth without consciousness is just a fleeting illusion, but wealth with wisdom becomes legacy. How many people do you know who worked their whole lives, earned well, yet ended up without peace? And how many others, with modest means, live with serenity, gratitude, and stability? The difference between them is not luck, it's wisdom. It's the way the mind perceives the value of things and the meaning of money. Solomon understood something that many adults rediscover too late. Prosperity begins in the mind, not in the bank account, because it's the mind that decides what to keep, what to waste, what to attract, and what to repel. Without wisdom, money becomes a demanding master. With wisdom, it becomes a faithful servant. After 40, life invites us to change our relationship with money. It's no longer about accumulating out of fear of scarcity. It's about growing with purpose, investing with awareness, and living with balance. The mature phase of life is the time to integrate reason and emotion, spirituality and strategy, faith and action. And that's where Solomon's example becomes more relevant than ever. The first pillar of his wisdom is self-knowledge. He knew that you cannot manage what you do not understand. Many seek to learn about investments, but forget to invest in themselves. They want to multiply wealth, but ignore the limiting beliefs that still bind them to scarcity. Before managing money, you must manage your thoughts, because a disorganized mind will always lead to a disorganized life. The second pillar is discernment. Solomon knew how to distinguish what has true value from what merely has a price. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Some are distractions in disguise. After 40, wisdom lies in knowing how to say no to what throws you off balance, so that you can say yes to what truly builds. Discernment is the filter of prosperity. Without it, we fall into financial traps, unbalanced relationships, and fear-driven decisions. With it, we learn to act calmly and to prosper consciously. The third pillar is balance. Solomon was a king surrounded by wealth, yet he never lost sight of what truly mattered. He knew that wealth without peace is disguised poverty. That's why he wrote, "Better is a little with justice than great revenues without righteousness." This is the wisdom that maturity teaches. Money is important, but it's not everything. It should serve you, not rule you. It should expand your freedom, not buy it at the cost of your health, your faith, or your family. The fourth pillar is gratitude and generosity. Solomon understood that the flow of prosperity depends on circulation. When you hold too tightly to what you have, the flow stagnates. But when you share, the river begins to run again. To be generous is not to give what's left over. It's to recognize that what you have is part of something greater. Gratitude opens the gates of abundance, because a grateful mind focuses on what already exists, and therefore attracts more of it. Those who live in gratitude vibrate in the frequency of prosperity. And the fifth pillar is vision with purpose. Solomon built temples expanded kingdoms, and inspired generations. He used wealth as an instrument of divine expression. That is the great difference between accumulating and prospering. To accumulate is to have out of fear of losing. To prosper is to grow in order to serve, to express, to leave a legacy. Many people, after 40, feel that their time to build has already passed. But it's exactly the opposite. Now is the moment when you possess what Solomon asked for: wisdom. You have experiences, scars, lessons learned. And all of that is worth more than gold, because now you can make choices with awareness. You can unite the knowledge of the mind with the maturity of the soul. And when that union happens, prosperity manifests naturally. Perhaps until now, you've lived between two extremes, either trying to earn more at any cost or living in fear of losing what you have. But the wisdom of Solomon teaches the middle path, where money is neither villain nor savior, but simply an expression of your state of consciousness. If you want to prosper after 40, begin as the wise king began, by asking for wisdom, not only to earn more, but to better understand the value of what you already have, not only to attract opportunities, but to recognize which ones are truly meant to be embraced, and above all, to use money as a tool for evolution, not for anxiety. Mature prosperity is born the moment you stop chasing money and start walking beside it. When you understand that wealth is not about having everything, but about living in balance with what you already have while building what you still desire. It's living without excess and without guilt. It's enjoying with gratitude, investing with purpose, and helping with joy. Solomon once said, "Through wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established." That house is your financial, emotional, and spiritual life. And understanding is what allows you to grow upon a solid foundation. If you want to rebuild your financial life, begin with the foundation of consciousness. Reflect on what life is trying to teach you at this moment. Perhaps the losses you've faced were simply disguised teachers, preparing you to handle this new chapter with greater wisdom. Wisdom doesn't come from what you accumulate, but from what you understand along the way. So today, as you hear these words, remember, true prosperity is that which expands you on the inside before it enriches you on the outside. Prosperity without wisdom is a castle made of sand. But prosperity with wisdom is a spiritual fortress. After 40, your greatest wealth is discernment, the clarity to know what is and what is no longer worth your time, your energy, your money. And when that clarity aligns with action, prosperity begins to find you. Solomon was not just a king, he was an archetype of the prosperous mind. And within every mature person who decides to start over, there is a sleeping Solomon waiting for the moment to awaken and rule their own inner kingdom. When you awaken that awareness, fear loses its power, scarcity dissolves, and money returns to what it has always been: energy in motion. So today, make the same request he once made. Lord, grant me wisdom to understand the path of prosperity. And know that when the request is sincere, the universe responds. Because those who seek wisdom inevitably find wealth, but those who seek only wealth end up losing both. May the wisdom of Solomon inspire you to prosper with balance, to rebuild with awareness, and to live the rest of your journey with serenity, abundance, and purpose. And if this message touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone who needs a new perspective on money, and write in the comments, "I choose the wisdom that generates prosperity." Also, explore our resources for financial mindset development available in the first pinned comment.